Where's my Kit Kat? I put it right here on this table.
I don't know, but we have plenty of chocolate here.
No, you don't understand. I need that Kit Kat. She wrote her number on that wrapper. Where is it?
Uh-oh.
Hey, Dracula! Come on, give me candy. Give me!
Brandon, is that how you used to be on Halloween?
Where's the Kit Kat?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the October Screaming Room special of 2021. For everybody who doesn't know, we pick our favorite television shows, Halloween specials, and then we react to them the same way we do in any Screaming Room. This week is my pick, which is the How I Met Your Mother Halloween episode from season 1.
I made my dad watch this show. He fucking hates this intro with passion.
That also happened in like 2005. So we had, we're going back, and last week's episode was South Park in 2006. For everybody who's been living under a rock since 2005, How I Met Your Mother is a show about a guy who is telling his kids how he met their mom. Thus the title of the show, How I Met Your Mother. And he has 4 friends. His name is Ted Mosby. He has 4 friends: Robin Scherbatsky, Lillian Marshall, and as well, of course, the runaway star of this show, Barney Stinson. This particular episode, Ted is attending a Halloween party that he attended for almost every year for the past 4 years. And he is going after a slutty pumpkin that he met. And that's kind of how the episode kicks off.
What's the Slutty Pumpkin?
You mean, who is the Slutty Pumpkin?
It was 4 years ago.
I was at this Halloween party up on the roof of our building. I'm about to call it an early night, when out of nowhere appeared this girl in the sexiest pumpkin costume.
How could a pumpkin costume be sexy?
It was carved in strategic places.
So it starts out with them drinking in McLaren's like they always do. They're just kind of going over their Halloween plans. Marshall and Lily are been the contest winners for the bar for forever on the costume contest. So, and then they showed back a couple times when they were Sonny and Cher.
Sonny, where's Cher?
Cher?
Right here, babe. The perfect woman.
And they were really excited about the costumes coming in. And they're kind of just going over their plans. Barney gives a nice speech, very similar to Chad's from Screaming Queens, about how this is an opportunity for women to unleash their inner hoe bag, as he says. Whatever costume it is, it's a slutty version of that costume.
When a girl dresses up as a witch, she's a slutty witch. If she's a cat, she's a slutty cat. If she's a nurse...
Wow, we get it.
She's a slutty nurse.
What are you doing for Halloween?
And Robin's not really a big Halloween person. She's kind of the straight edge of the show. She's very serious. And she's like, I'm not really going to dress up. Her and this guy that she was dating was like, maybe we'll dress up, maybe we won't. They ask Ted what he's doing, and he goes into this whole story, which his friends have already heard a couple times.
So, we're at the bar, and I see her mix Kahlua and
root beer.
a cocktail she invented herself.
And she's called it the Tootsie Roll.
Because it tastes like an
alcoholic Tootsie Roll.
Can I please tell this story?
I think I've heard this story a couple times.
I've been told that I'm the person in the social group that does this, where I tell the same story a lot, and everyone already has it memorized. So
don't say.
So I took it a little personally, but not too much. There's kind of an A and a B storyline. Ted obviously goes to the party, and he has a heck of a costume. And talk about something that's way culturally dated.
I want the Slutty Pumpkin to recognize me, and she knows me as a hanging Chad. What? She thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, 4 years ago, but nobody remembers what the hell a hanging Chad is.
What a sad commentary on our national attention span, that we could forget such a turbulent time in our political history.
Commentary.
Do you guys even know what the hanging Chad is?
No.
Okay. Do you not? No. Okay. Do you know? Okay. So when the election between George Bush and Al Gore was going on, it came down to a certain county in Florida. Just like the meme that, when they say New York, California, and why is it always you three? So it came down to it. In their particular voting system, they had what was called the Chad. Essentially what they did was like an old job in check stamp card. They would literally like press a button, and then like a little dimple would get pressed into it, and it would be called a Chad, a hanging Chad. And apparently there was a flaw in this system that every person that voted for Al Gore accidentally voted for somebody else. There was a whole thing. It was a whole. You can watch many documentaries about whole things. That's why they talk about George Bush not really winning the election in 2000 or whenever it was, and it came down to this, and that was the costume, the hanging Chad, because that was what lost Al Gore the election. And that's why nobody, like, I mean, it was even dated in 2004, or like literally 4 years ago, so 2000. Now it was 2004, and even then it was very dated. And now no one would fucking know what the hell it was unless you watched a documentary. I'm surprised you even knew what it was.
The only reason I knew what it was because some shit like that. I was watching something and that whole thing came up with the Gore versus Bush thing.
Yeah,
so that's the only reason I know about that. Either that or me and Marcus were drunk one night talking about shit.
I'm sure.
One of those two things.
That sounds about right. So he needs to wear the costume because otherwise the Slutty Pumpkin won't recognize him. Barney obviously does not want him to go because Barney's that friend, and I've been guilty of this. Everybody's been guilty of this. Barney's the friend that wants you to go and have an awesome time no matter what. He wants you to not be depressed. He wants you to come out and have an excellent time. It also serves him too. He wants to have an awesome time. He drags him out. And arguably has the best entrance of the episode, and the best entrance of the season, and probably the best entrance of the whole fucking show.
I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty fucking awesome.
Ted hears a little bit of music. It's Highway to the Danger Zone. It's like, what the fuck? What is that? And then he walks out, and Barney is in a full Maverick flight suit with a little stereo next to him playing it. Oh, and I gotta say, even though I know Brandon is not a fan of sitcoms and everything else, I even heard a laugh when that happened.
A few times. It's funny because I said I've never seen a single episode of How I Met Your Mother before. I think somebody might have shown me this episode before.
Really?
Because there were a few things that just seemed familiar to me, particularly the penguin costume.
A little bit later.
I remembered the root beer and Kahlua mixed drink.
Okay.
Like
there were the things?
Yeah.
All the things.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like there were just these little... it wasn't like big things, but like there were these little things that happened. Like the concept of... what was Neil Patrick Harris's character's name?
Barney Stinson.
Barney, like him having the multiple costumes. Like there were a lot of things that just seemed familiar to me, and I feel like if anybody showed this to me, I feel like it would have been you at one point, or potentially Wes.
It would have been. I think it probably was Wes.
Yeah, because I do remember there was a Halloween or two where I did hang out at Wes's place. Yeah. If he did show it to me, it would have been the Halloween I showed him Trick or Treat.
Okay.
But there were a lot of things that seemed oddly familiar to me.
I can't believe you talked me into this.
I didn't. You followed me up here.
This party sucks.
That kind of becomes the A-plot where Barney runs after Ted to go to this party, and then some funny stuff happens.
There's 7 chicks here. There's 6 chicks here. The night is...
But the other side of the coin is Robin gets dragged to a pseudo double date. And with this guy that she's been seeing named Mike.
You guys are really cute together.
Yeah, we've been spending a lot of time together. We're even getting to that point where we finish each other's...
This cheeseburger is so
good. See it?
Nothing quite like being on a double date where the other couple it's just not working out, and especially it's even worse when you're the one that it is working out. You have a great relationship, and the other one does not have a good relationship. Yeah. It's painful.
Dude, that shit looks hard to watch. I'd just be like,
it is painful.
It's very. I can imagine experiencing that. It's very fucking awkward, man.
It is. So they end up scheduling a double date, and then Ted goes up to the party up on the roof, and she's like, yeah, we were thinking about dressing up Robin, but I think we just joked about it. And then she opened up the door, and he's dressed in a full Hansel costume. And then she made a dated but yet not dated reference, which is I shouldn't joke via email.
Mike and I joked about doing something together, but we decided not to dress up. Oh, jeez. Everyone, this is Michael. That is not his real hair.
Where's your costume, Gretel?
You thought I was... Oh, I was just kidding. I gotta stop making jokes in emails. It's so hard to convey tone.
It's so hard to convey tone.
Dude, that was dated in 2006.
That is still relevant today with text
messaging. It's
Yeah.
definitely
Text messaging one thing, but email, it's just like, oh my, wait, you guys are communicating over email?
I mean, that was a thing.
I mean, it's 2006 though, not 1990.
No, dude, it was still very much
'99.
a thing back then. So they end up going on a double date. It turns out that that Lily and Marshall got their costumes. Lily's a parrot, and then Marshall is a gay pirate because he's wearing eyeliner.
There are like a zillion gay pirates this year.
Seriously, does my eyeliner look okay?
Yes, it's weirdly hot.
Zillion
So
and
where's your
one.
costume?
Dressed as Jack Sparrow.
Pretty
from
much.
Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean.
Which I mean, I think Dead Man's Chest had came out in 2005 at that point. The first one came out in 2003. The
05, no. First one was 03, second one was 06, third was 07.
So it was like right in between the
second and third.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
First and
second.
What was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 2005. Okay.
So so it might have been like leading up. There might have been a lot of lead up to the second movie at that point. So they end up going to that. Robin's not dressed, but everybody else is. And by the way, like I gotta say, like don't be that person. Just don't. Don't be that person that like, hey, you go to a Halloween party and you don't fucking dress up. Yeah. You're kind of a dick when you don't do that. I
dressed up last year.
Exactly, like so. I mean,
We all did. Yeah.
Participate in what's going on.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Just
Correct.
have fun. It's fun. Trust me. I can assure you, you will have a good fucking time.
Yeah, there's other parties that you can go to that's just regular,
Exactly.
normal people.
But Halloween is a special time.
It really is.
It's a sacred time. So they're going through a really awkward date, and Robin's such an independent person. It's going to be a character arc that you're going to see throughout the entire show. That she's the person who's going to sacrifice her career for any kind of relationships, and and it's really really difficult, and it just builds and builds of how awkward it is, especially that one scene.
Robin, you have to try this chicken.
Oh, that's good. I'm okay, thanks.
It's really tasty.
I'm just really feeling this cheeseburger.
Come on, just try a little bite.
Dude, I'm kind of in the zone here. Oh, for God's sakes! Really tasty.
Gets so awkward at some point. Lily just just goes and eats it. It is really good. So it cuts back to the scene on the rooftop. Ted's trying to justify the reasons he's there. Barney's giving him a hard time. Barney's also making the most of it and hitting on a bunch of girls with some of the worst pickup lines I've ever heard.
I liked the laid line, but mostly that brought me back to my cruise ship days.
Hey.
Hey.
So what does a fella have to do to get laid around here? Yeah.
Right, because I'm wearing a leg.
Well, it isn't funny if you explain the joke.
There was that week where we were in Hawaii, and I was literally hearing that joke at least 4 times a day.
Oh,
yeah. Barney gets pissed off at Ted and he ends up leaving. But then he comes back in a different costume, which is either really desperate or pretty fucking genius. I haven't decided which one.
Every Halloween, I bring a spare costume in case I strike out with the hottest girl at the party. That way I have a second chance to make a first impression.
I'm gonna go with genius.
I'm gonna go with genius too.
I thought it was genius too, but I thought he was going a different direction with it. I thought he was just gonna, be an ass with the first costume and then just try to be all sensitive, because I thought that's where he was going.
Yeah.
When he changed the second time, but then he got horny again. And it was like,
I'm a horny devil.
Yeah.
Certainly are a charming devil.
I'm also a horny devil. Yeah.
No.
And then arguably led to probably the funniest part of the whole that made everyone laugh which was the devil and the angel.
Oh yeah.
I really gotta pee. We'll just pee off the ledge.
Don't do it. There are people down there.
And then finally the angel's like, you
Do
know
you
what?
have some weed?
Yeah, like, whatever, guys.
Hey, pee out the roof.
Oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you. There's people.
Who are you gonna listen to? Me or Mr. Goody Goody Go?
Yeah, whatever. You guys got some weed?
The date ends up being more and more awkward with Robin and her guy friend, I guess, and then Lily and Marshall. And there's a whole sensitive moment with Lily in the bathroom with Robin saying, "Hey, do you like Mike?" And she's like, "Yeah, I like him fine." It's like, well, you're not really fucking acting like it.
So, do you like Mike? Do you like Mike? Of course I do. Why? It just doesn't seem like it. You won't share your food, you won't wear a costume. Oh, Lily, you know me. I'm just not into all that coupley stuff. Okay, I know that stuff looks dumb from the outside, but it's kind of the greatest thing in the world when you're a part of it.
Saying, "Hey, just share a dessert," and that leads to all kinds of fucking problems.
This sundae looks so good I could eat the whole thing.
Remember
But,
digital cameras, guys?
I would much rather share this small one-scoop sundae with you.
My old one, I think.
Really?
Apple tart.
Somewhere, God only knows where.
Marshmallow. Well, let's dig in. My microwave oven.
Good stuff. Good try.
And it gets even more awkward. The only thing they didn't do was fucking fight. And I've been on a double date where a couple has fought in front of us. So that's it. That is one of those things where it was getting to the point where they were arguing over fucking ice cream and tiramisu.
In the bathroom, that was pretty funny. It's like, share dessert. It's like, all right, you better love friggin' ice cream.
How about you start by sharing dessert? I can share dessert. You better want the brownie sundae. But yeah, I can totally share.
Obviously, with the B story, Lily and Marshall obviously win the fucking the contest. They do a really cool depth perception shot where Lily's the parrot on top of his shoulder, which I'm sure Brandon appreciated a lot. And then they won the contest, which was great. How did Carl introduce it?
Oh my god. Here's your winners, Pirate and Gay Pirate.
No, Gay Pirate and Parrots.
Parrots.
And the winners of this year's costume contest are Lily Aldrin as a parrot and Marshall Erickson as a gay pirate.
Wait, what?
That's what we want.
He's like, what? What do you mean gay pirate? Dude, you're wearing eyeliner.
Gay pirate? Where are you getting that from? You can wear an eyeliner.
Just to end out the B story, Robin ends up getting dumped because Mike's like, you know what, you obviously don't want to be with me. So and actually he's pretty cold too. He's like, oh, are we breaking up? He's like, no, I'm breaking up with you.
To which you called it a mic drop, and I have to know, was that pun intentional?
No, it was not. I did not even do it, and I was wondering why you looked behind you.
Wait, are we breaking up?
No, we aren't breaking up. I'm breaking up with you.
Mic drop.
And then, just when I was about to lose hope,
You know what? I was a genius and I didn't even know it.
I didn't even realize that until now. What the fuck, Mark?
And then Brandon's favorite part of the most awkward dad jokes ever. What is a pirate's favorite type of sweater?
Oh,
Argyle. What is
He's
it?
not amused.
What is a? Dude, no, but that one line was funny though. What's a pirate's favorite fast food?
Yeah.
Arby's. You would think so, but it's actually Long John Silver's.
What's be a pirate's favorite kind of sweater?
Argyle.
Here's some dad jokes for you guys.
Pirate's favorite fast food restaurant.
Arby's.
Brandon, are you writing these down? These are all for you, buddy.
But actually, it's Long John Silver.
That's what I was thinking. It would be Long John Silver.
I guess it would. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. So that wraps up that like. So there's a little bit more mayhem upstairs with them with Ted and Barney. They end up Barney ends up tricking him.
So he gets in a penguin costume, a slutty penguin costume, mind you, completely covered up. He pours the mixed drink that the girl was supposedly making or whatever And Ted's just like, oh my god, I think this is fate. We met 4 years ago. You poured that exact same drink. And then Barney doesn't say a fucking word, and he's just going along with it until he just rips off the fucking head. You're a dumbass!
Excuse me. This is gonna sound crazy, but I met someone up on this roof 4 years ago, and they mixed that cocktail, and they loved penguins. By any chance, was that you? That was crazy, but you are such a
I penguin suited up to show you the error of your ways.
That's kind of cold. I'm not gonna lie.
But necessary. It was fucking funny though.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, you gotta let this go. And then a very sweet moment happens. Robin comes up and talks with him, and and anybody that's been single and that kind of wants to be in a relationship has had that moment of being at a party at 2:43 in the morning and just saying, yeah, that person that I'm expecting is probably not going to show up. And then they have a nice moment about about relationships and everything else.
Look, I know that odds are the love of my life isn't going to magically walk through that door in a pumpkin costume at 2:43 in the morning, but it seems as nice a spot as any,
there.
Sit and wait.
Shut up. It ends up being a really nice moment. And later on, that becomes a thing until he actually meets the Slutty Pumpkin later on.
That's like 4 or 5 seasons away.
Yep,
now.
and it's who was played by Kate Hudson. No, it wasn't Kate Hudson. It was.
Are you sure?
No, positive. It's what's her face from Batman Begins.
Katie Holmes?
Katie Holmes, thank you. It's Katie Holmes. I don't know why I said Kate Hudson. I don't know. So Katie Holmes ends up coming back, and then they actually have a really super awkward date. It is not what he thinks it would be. It was really bad. Like, they keep trying to relive like the year 2000, and it's like 2008 at that point. So she's like, remember the song by Bare Naked Ladies? And then she sings it. It's painfully awkward. Wow. But yeah, overall it's a really fun episode. Barney just elevates it to the nth extreme in that awesome intro. It's still one of my favorites, and I think it's one of those episodes that was really easy for me to recommend because it was early enough in the show where you weren't like too far ahead, and there was a lot of explanation about what was going on. It was an easier episode to kind of talk about. But I certainly heard a lot more laughs than I thought I was going to hear, which was really pleasantly surprised. I knew Zach would laugh.
Oh yeah, I fucking love the show.
I know but there was some fun moments.
Yeah. It's always kind of a crapshoot with me when you're introducing me to a new sitcom. Mm-hmm. So I really had no idea what to expect from this one. I had seen clips from the show before, but other than apparently this episode, however long ago. So this is the only full episode I've ever seen, and I did laugh a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah, same here. I'm kind of in the same boat as Brandon. I kind of watched like minor clips about it, but I did have some laughs there, mainly with the Barney character for sure. I think he's really the only reason why I was watching those clips to begin with. He's pretty funny.
It's pretty
Neil
fun.
Patrick Harris does that role so much justice.
He does.
Yeah, like he makes the show he brings the show from like, okay, this is okay to wow, this is fucking great.
Yeah. Player horn dog played by a gay guy.
Yep.
Who knew?
I do like the actors though.
Because
I do like Colby Smulders.
Yep.
Especially in Slam and Salmon is what I know her from.
Oh my god.
Jason Segel, of course, I really like.
Oh yeah.
And Allison Hannigan is probably the one I'm least familiar with, but she was good in American Pie, and I feel like there were some other things.
Buffy, maybe she's the most famous for Buffy.
Yeah.
To have it's kind of funny. She's like one of those television stars who was famous for being on 2 very, very successful shows. And obviously American Pie, being the trifecta. That was the first time I was ever introduced to her, and it's kind of funny too because Lily's kind of she's very she's not promiscuous with a lot of people. She's very promiscuous with Marshall, and it's kind of funny to see the girl from band camp be kind of crazy. And that's part of her character, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What were one of your favorite parts?
Oh, let's see. The penguin definitely was my favorite part. He was a fucking dick for that.
I'm staying.
Fine.
What are you doing?
I'm flippering you off.
Did you expect it?
I wasn't. Yeah, I did not expect that. I really thought I was gonna be the girl. I was like, yeah, or you know, like another guy.
Yeah, probably.
You know, but I wasn't expecting him to change costumes for a third time. I was expecting him to have like a second change just to, you know, pick up the girl, but I didn't know he had like multiple costumes.
And to score Hula Girl's number. Check and check.
Unbelievable.
Yes, it is.
Wait a minute. You're that lame army guy.
What? No, that's some other guy. And he was a kick-ass fighter pilot.
I can't believe I gave you my number.
Yeah, well, you did. Thanks.
Yeah, well, I'll give it back.
Well, I don't think so. I earned it, fair and square. I'm calling you.
But I'm never gonna go out with you.
But how will you know it's me? I'm a master of disguise. Yeah.
It seems like he's done that before.
So you'll notice that Barney has a lot of costume changes.
Yeah.
He's a very theatrical character.
The man comes prepared for anything and everything.
And then he also does magic as well. Like, so there's a lot of that shit going on. Oh my god, and the one joke, like jokes that will not fly in today's age. Like, there's only 6 hot chicks here. 5 hot chicks here.
The guy's taking his wig off.
She's like, God damn it! Zach, what were some of your favorite?
Oh, the fucking Maverick moment.
Yeah.
That shit was hysterical.
Also,
I want to recreate that. That shit's funny as hell.
So, the ultimate test for Brandon, would you watch a couple other episodes of this show?
If I have the time to.
Would you turn it off if it was on?
If it was on, probably not.
Okay.
Unless something that is significantly better is on somewhere else.
Fair enough. You gotta understand that's high praise from Brandon when it comes to sitcoms.
Yeah. Although, then again, last year when I said I wanted to watch Boy Meets World from the beginning, what did I end up doing?
You watched it from the beginning.
I'd probably watch another episode.
Nice.
Give him another chance.
Check it out.
I'm curious to see the sequel episode when he actually meets the Slutty Pumpkin.
Me too. I'm kind of curious.
Maybe I'll do that for next year. I don't know. Maybe we'll. This is, and Zach knows this. This has been hands down one of my favorite shows of all time. It is probably my favorite sitcom, except for the last season. Don't watch it. It'll break your fucking heart. Because it fucking sucks.
Doesn't suck. It's good. Mark's just weak.
No. Fuck off. It's horrible.
It is not horrible. It is hilarious.
This was another really easy pick for me because it is still one of my favorite shows. If you've not watched How I Met Your Mother, it's definitely worth your time. I think, and I'll leave it at this, is I think it's a Friends that's closer to our generation. There's far more things that we're going to relate to in this show than we would with Friends, because it's still, Friends is far enough away into the 90s that we're like, well, we were kids when this shit was going on. But in How I Met Your Mother, there's cell phones, there's social media, there's discussions of the internet and texting and phone calls and everything. There's a whole episode about how, when you send a text message, you can't get it back. Once it's sent, it's sent. And, that's something that our generation is going to relate to far more than something going on, whatever the fuck is going on in Friends. So I think anybody that's in our age bracket will find far more enjoyment with this because you're going to understand it more. It's going to relate more to you than you would with Friends. So it's still one of my favorite shows. I absolutely love it. It's on Hulu. Go watch it. But this is a really fun episode. And Neil Patrick Harris is fucking amazing. And that's it. Yeah. Thank you so much for checking out the second week of the Screaming Room October special of 2021. And if you are watching this on YouTube, if you could be so awesome to stab that like button, smash that subscribe, and click that little dingy bell to be notified every time we drop amazing content right here on MHN. And hey, if you've already smashed the subscribe button, go ahead and smash that share button. Brandon, what social medias can they find us on?
You can find us on social media at Midwest Horror Network on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and...
David, toss me the cat.
I'm not gonna throw him.
Slasher.
Thank you so much, Zach. And thank you so much for checking us out. We'll see you next time on The Screaming Room.
I mean, every costume is just a slutty version of something. Slutty teacher, slutty nurse, slutty nun. I saw a girl last year dressed as slutty Al-Qaeda.